Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer.
Hello, right. Boring Review Nation.
Kind of pointless.
We know all things.
Alright, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here, and I really appreciate you clicking on this video. Today I am finishing Chennai Express, watching it for the very first time, and I can't wait to finish. I've really enjoyed part 1, really enjoyed part 2, and now I'm excited for a whole bunch of craziness. I'm expecting a lot of action, expecting a lot of fighting, expecting a lot of character growth from Raul, where he was terrified of this gigantic mammoth of a man, to where maybe he might be willing to at least stand up to him a little bit. And one thing that maybe, if I had to complain about one thing, and it's very small, is her father's the Don. He's the boss, but we haven't got to see too much of his power. We've got to see the people that he controls, but haven't got to see what he can really do. I'm hoping we can see that in this last part. Again, it's not a big deal. I'm loving the film so far. If you like my reaction, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Please don't forget to do that, especially if you enjoy this and you like watching people like myself, watching these movies that you know and love. Please hit that. Let me know below what you want me to react to in the future. And if you want to see the entire thing, if these edited versions just isn't doing it for you, go ahead and consider being a Patreon for $5 a month. You can unlock the full reaction to this and many more reactions we put on our Patreon page. But with that being said, let's go ahead and finish this up. Stick around as well for my review right after I finish Chennai Express. Here we go. And he seems to be leaving.
हम यहाँ से चुपचाप से किसी को बताए बिना निकल पड़ते हैं, वरना ये लोग हमसे उठपटांग रस्में करवाते रहेंगे। हाँ।
मालूम पड़ी कि हम हस्बैंड वाइफ का झूठ बोली तो नेक्स्ट टाइम ये लोग किसी और को हेल्प करेगी।
She doesn't want to leave.
जब से तुम मेरी बीवी का रोल कर रही हो ना, तुम्हें बहुत मजा आ रहा है।
She can be such a jerk sometimes.
कभी खुद की दादी के इमोशंस के बारे में सोची?
Oh, she's getting personal.
रामेश्वरम टू गोवा।
या मैंने चेंज कर दिया। मैं बुरा, एक्चुअली मैं बहुत ही बुरा आदमी हूँ। इसे तुम अपने पास रखो। तुम लोग यहाँ पे एक अच्छे लोगों की कंपनी बना के साथ रहो। मैं इस गांव में नहीं रहने वाला, right?
Good people.
मुझे बख्श दो।
You know, I got to remember that he was trying to get that done. All he wanted to do was go to Goa and spend some time with his friends, and he has not got a chance. Hasn't even talked to them about what's happened to him. So I can understand him being frustrated and not want to play along with what she needs.
गुस्सा एक तरफ, लेकिन मीना माँ को ऐसे अकेले छोड़कर।
Yep, another tantrum.
कुछ अच्छा नहीं।
He throws lots of tantrums. That kind of, I guess, would happen if you're just around, you know, your grandparents, your grandpa all the time, just doing what they want, not getting out and seeing the world too much. And he's back. Oh, did not expect that. Oh, it is on like Donkey Kong. Not only is the village going to find out, but there's going to be some serious trouble. How did they find him? These poor people here. They don't deserve this in their village.
You and me, इंगे विंगे, no personal दुश्मनी सर. आपको तो आपकी आइटम मिल गई सर. Leave me. आपको अपनी आइटम से जो करना है करो सर.
मुझे छोड़ के भाग जाती?
समझने की कोशिश करो.
क्या समझ?
वो कोयता हो जाए मेरा.
You too सोचे मैं लल्लाऊं।
कंगोपली हिंदी में गाना.
Who's this kid? Who is this kid? Oh, the whole village is going to defend this guy. He's been lying to him. Nice. That was from the trailer. That's a cool shot. These people are way too nice. The ashes are in there, maybe? She's worried about the important thing. Yep, the ashes. Super sweet moment.
चलो.
Seriously. Stare at her later, homie. That was awesome that those guys came to their defense, but man, I feel bad that they've been lying to him this entire time.
ये लो, तुम्हारा मुंबई जाने का टिकट.
और तुम?
दादाजी की अस्थियां बहाने मुंबई पपोरो रामेश्वरम.
Rameshwaram. I like that name. Rameshwaram.
The best way to escape your problems is to face them.
Absolutely.
मैं भी तेरे साथ रामेश्वरम आती।
सपोज तंगबली वहां
वही
गया
ना, मैं ही तेरे को बचाएगी ना तंगबली से, इसलिए मैं तेरे साथ आती हूँ। Okay?
Could I get a refund first before you just ripped up my ticket? I needed that money. What are they picking on those plants there? Those trees or hedges? I love the way they grow and how they look from far away or even close up. But what are they picking off those? That is so cool how it's changing like that. Like they're in front of a green screen. Wow. And they might be in front of a green screen. I'm not sure how they're doing it. That's really cool. Wow. Jeez. How much did that cost? Finally able to fulfill this destiny of his.
कल मैं तेरे को छोड़ के चली जाएगी, तुम्हारी सब परेशानी हमेशा के लिए खत्म।
Seriously.
वैसे तुम जाओगी कहाँ?
पूना, मेरी चाइल्डहुड फ्रेंड बाहर रहती है।
Don't like it. He's not going to stop her. Not yet, at least. He's not going to go after her. Not yet, at least.
मीना तुम मेरे साथ मुंबई चलो, वहाँ मेरा घर है दादी।
There you go. I didn't think that was going to happen.
तुम आराम से रह
He went for it.
और अगर अप्पा आके पूछती कि मैं तेरे घर में क्या कर रही है, तो क्या जवाब देगी?
तुम्हें कह दूंगा हम दोनों।
Wow, I was getting emotional there.
तुम और मैं।
It's okay, राहुल, मेरे लिए पूना ही ठीक है।
Now is not the time to not speak your mind, girl. He's speaking his the best he can. Gosh, the long pause. And these types of movies will be the death of us all. Just keep driving, homie. Keep driving to your home. He brought him home. Oh, man.
तुम बिल्कुल सही जगह पर आए मीना।
Not expecting that, but I guess it makes sense since the very beginning.
मैंने बहुत सोच समझ कर ये फैसला लिया। हम कब तक भागते रहे? तुम्हारे कोई सपने, कोई लाइफ नहीं है क्या? आज मुझे और तुम्हारे अप्पा दोनों को ट्रांसलेशन की जरूरत नहीं। नो सबटाइटल।
I was gonna say no subtitles. Gosh, she's beat me to it.
क्या आप अपनी बेटी से प्यार नहीं करते? आप इस गांव के बाप बन सकते हैं, माँ बाप बन सकते हैं, लेकिन अपनी बेटी के बाप नहीं बन सकते। कभी नहीं सर। You're so tall, so big, but with a small heart. Come on, let's fight. Let's fight. Come on. मारना आईडी। पूरे गांव से लड़ूंगा, सिर्फ मीना के लिए। Because I love her.
Oh. Oh, look at her face. I love her reaction. Oh my gosh. He broke the bat on the back of his head? Here's that scene. Oh, the table of food. More mud. Oh, the pots. Oh, that's about right. This guy's gonna do something. Oh! Oh, oh! Yeah, he's definitely doing something now. Oh, no. That hurts. Yeah, you have no chance, homie. This guy is stacked. Absolutely stacked. Oh, we got it. You got a punch back. Oh my gosh, all the merchandise is being destroyed. Oh my gosh. SRK seems to get beat up in all of his movies. Like, he got this beat up in Om Shanti Om. He's getting beat up. And there once again is a Dawn doing nothing. Oh, he's cut! The Russian's cut, and it's a bad cut! It's from Rocky IV, by the way. Oh! Ooh. Oh my gosh! The fire's still on. He's out for the count. Oh my gosh, I thought he got him. You throw it right to him? Are you crazy? I can do this all day.
No more fight.
Oh, he does know some English.
मेरा बॉडी बहुत बड़ा, आना तेरा करेज
wow.
उससे भी बड़ा.
Shoot, have a mark left. Holding on that strong that he's been holding on to this whole time.
You win. इन्हें मीना उड़कता. मीना तेरा.
Dad's a big softy.
राघुलुकुम, मीनावुकुम, कल्याणम.
Face, still hurts. Did you not just see what I just did right there?
इतना प्यार करती मेरे को।
बीच रात में अपने अब्बा का स्कूटर समझ के मुझे किक मारेगी।
She's psycho at nighttime. That's nice. By Rohit Shetty and team. Rajini.
चलो।
The boss. Well, I did it. I watched the film Chennai Express. Not that that's a huge feat or anything impressive. It's one of probably a million films I've seen. But this was one that, like I had said before, my part one of my reaction to this film was heavily requested. And I've watched it all the way through. The trailer, once again, does it no justice whatsoever. Whoever made that trailer needs to be thrown overboard, so to speak. This film would be hard for me to describe. And in case you haven't missed, I'm going to go into my review now. Spoiler, all that kind of stuff. Of course, spoilers. The movie's been out for a while. Review for Chennai Express. This film would be really hard to describe to somebody else, because it doesn't really fit a certain mold or even a few molds. If I had to, I would say that this is a romantic journey film, right? Because if you say romance, you kind of give a lot of it away what happens at the end, because in the first 2/3, I mean, you know they're going to get together, but let's imagine we, suspend that type of situation. You wouldn't know for sure if they got together. This film isn't really an action film, but there's action in it. There's pyrotechnics, there's stunts, there's all that kind of stuff. You can say this is a comedy film. Probably at its core, it's a comedy film because there's a lot of comedy in it. But SRK doesn't really play that atypical hero, right? He's whiny at times, he throws tantrums, he's not necessarily the hero at all times, but his character develops immensely. He starts off as just this guy that's never really left home, trying to do a deed for what his grandma wants for his grandpa's ashes, and he's trying to do it the cheap way because he wants to go to Goa with his friends. And he gets on the Chennai Express, and then the rest of the story unfolds. I absolutely love the part where they're on the train and they're singing back and forth trying to communicate, and she's trying to ask for help and he's singing back and forth because the goons, the cousins, don't speak Hindi. And that part was absolutely fantastic. I was telling my family about it after I watched that part. We were spending the day together, and I talked about how I watched this movie and they had this awesome thing I'd never seen before. I thought that was very, very unique, very clever. And he gets just thrown into this world trying to help her out, and she's trying to, at first, selfishly just trying to do whatever she can to get free. He's trying to do whatever he can to get away. And it's interesting how they're so similar, but they're so different. This film had fantastic music, had great acting. Not the greatest acting, but great acting, great enough. I think Deepika definitely was absolutely phenomenal. She didn't have to show a lot of range, and that might be a negative I have, but she didn't really need to. She was phenomenal. I loved her in this. SRK did a very, very fine job. He did a very, very fine job, but this wasn't his best acting in my opinion. There were some parts where he was just mailing it in a few deliveries, but overall did a fantastic job, and I love SRK. I just hold him to such a high standard. I don't think he reached that quite bit, but it doesn't matter because this movie, it's so creative, it's so unique, it's so different than anything I've seen before, and it's so entertaining without having to do too much in one or other certain areas, and that's the biggest compliment I can give Chennai Express. I can see why this is a popular film. I'm not sure why they had that tribute at the end credits. Let me know. I try to look on to see if this was like a remake of a film that he had done, but Rohit Shetty really brought it, and his team really brought the direction in this film. And I read up somewhere that said it was the highest grossing film from Bollywood at one point, surpassing 3 Idiots when this came out, which I can see why. Super, super likable. There's so many soft moments, and that's what really brought it home for me. Because you had kind of the wackiness, the craziness, the action, the comedy. You had the tantrums, you had the fighting, but then you had those real moments. Like their conversation about their parents, and her mom's not around and his parents aren't around. That was a really sweet, tender moment where they're doing the steps, going to the temple. That was one of my favorite parts as well. When the village is coming to save them and rescue them from Thangabali, My biggest complaint would be kind of what I mentioned before this reaction for this part 3, is the father Don and Thangabali, I think that's his name. Very weak villains. They didn't really have much to do, and they didn't do too much. For most of the film, Thangabali is just kind of standing there. I mean, he was fantastic shape. I would never want to mess with this guy. But they didn't give him enough to do. I wish there was a little bit more with the villains besides just chasing around all over the globe and always knowing where they're at, but always not being able to catch them and them getting away. That last fight was really good, though, because it showed no mercy. Raul really went through it. And it was, I like that he impressed his opponent with his courage, and that's where he's like, you know, I'm done. This is over. You've earned it. You deserve her. You have so much courage, more than I have, so I'm done. I did like the ending, but the villains were very, very weak. And I get this film didn't really need to have a villain, but they were our villains, and they didn't really do too much, unfortunately. But the good definitely outweighs the bad. I would easily give Chennai Express anywhere from an A- to a B+, probably more on the A- side, just because I just enjoyed it overall. I absolutely loved this movie. There were some points that you can complain about and you can argue about, but do we really need to? Absolutely enjoyed this immensely, and I'm very glad I watched it. I hope you enjoyed watching it with me, reacting with me, whether you're on Patreon. If you're on Patreon, thank you so much for your patronage. Really appreciate all that you do to support us here at Boring Reviews. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for clicking on the videos and watching all parts. Hopefully do with me. If you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. That would really, really mean a lot. That would really help me out and let me know that you appreciate what we're doing here and what I'm doing with this reaction. With all that being said, look out for the poll for maybe the next one that we're going to do if we've already decided on it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, adios.